Hey there, everybody. Brian Miller, Small Town Movie Watcher, and I got done watching X-Men Apocalypse, rated PG-13, for violence, not for language or drug use or dirty talking, but for violence. So, let me just start by saying that I thought that this was a good movie, and as a comic book fan, I enjoyed going to see this movie. Now, let's get into what's going on. So, what was this movie about? This movie was about our X Men, who Professor Charles Xavier just wants to be students, and he wants to have a student, his place for gifted students to be a home for mutants and humans alike. Um, so they're not in the X-Men business anymore at the moment after what happened in Washington, D.C. in the movie X-Men Days of Future Past. Um, so what happens is that we see this almighty first mutant apocalypse come to being, and he's encased underneath a pyramid in Egypt for millennia. And he comes back and he's going to take over the world because what all powerful mutant doesn't want to take over the world? And he's going to do so with his four horsemen. The horsemen being Angel, who I thought was a complete waste of a character, Magneto, who is still an excellent character with his can't I understand if I'm a good guy or a bad guy, Psylocke, who was a complete waste of a character, and Storm. I don't know if it was Halle Berry in the fact that she really pushed to have more lines in the original X-Men and X2. But I thought that her character in the original X-Men was a much better portrayal of Storm than this character of Storm, who we got an origin story out of, but I think was lost. So anyway, the X-Men come back together to defeat Apocalypse and his four horsemen, or horse people, and we're off to the races. So, what was the good parts? There was a lot of good parts I thought in this movie. I thought that the story was good, but I thought the scripts were bad, if you can do that. There's a couple of funny lines that are in there. I thought that the throwaway joke as they're leaving Return of the Jedi movie halfway to the end, or halfway, towards halfway, where Jean Grey says, "Don't you know the third one's always bad?" So that's either in reference to the original X3 or foreboding to what people will think of this movie. Let's see, what else was good? Oh, the scene with Quicksilver, I thought that, again, if you think back to the last one, Days of Future Past, that was a good movie, or a good scene of him in the Pentagon where they're rescuing Magneto. That was really good. And they did it again here in Apocalypse, and he's rescuing everybody as the Xavier's mansion is exploding yet again. So I thought that was good. Let's see, what else was good? I thought the use of Magneto again, showing how powerful he is and the fact that he can destroy a whole squad of people with a little locket, that was great. What were some things that I didn't like? Again, I thought that the script wasn't great. Sometimes it was borderline cheesy, but then there was times that it was okay. I also thought that Apocalypse. I always wanted. The Age of Apocalypse was one of those movies that I wanted to see on the big screen, and now that it's here, it's like, they kind of missed it. And I don't know if it's because Marvel has been doing a great job with their series of movies, especially with Captain America Civil War, or with DC, and that they're getting better at what they're doing. So, I don't know. I think Apocalypse himself, the character, kind of missed the point, missed the mark. And as I said just at the beginning, is that Angel was a waste. because we skip right from Angel to Archangel. Psylocke, I'm not. She has the power to make energy beams from one hand. I don't know. I think she was a waste. I think that her character could have been better, but it wasn't. Um, so I don't know. And also, I thought the other waste was Charles Xavier having the mind battle with Apocalypse. Come on, if you're battling someone inside your own mind, don't you think you would have the upper hand? And man, he even alludes to it at the beginning of their fight. So, whatever. So, is this movie safe for the family? So, the movie's rated PG-13 for violence and fantasy violence. Um, there's some pretty gruesome um, scenes that are in there. They're not gruesome, but they do another Wolverine origin story. I think this is the third time we see Wolverine's origin, and actually it might be the fourth time because I think in X-Men Origin Wolverine and also the Wolverine and in X2 and this one, I think they all show his origin story. But anyway, so he goes on a killing spree, and then the end, spoilers, when Apocalypse is defeated, he's pretty gruesomely taken down, and they show it in detail. So, I don't think it's safe for the family. If you got a 13-year-old, take your 13-year-old. You might be able to get away with a 10-year-old, but parents, take your kids to it. If they're 10 and older, maybe. I probably would wait to take my children to it. I definitely would not be taking my 6-year-old to it, which is at a 10 p.m. showing, which is when I saw this, is what happened again. Seriously, why are you bringing your 5-year-olds to a PG-13 movie at a 10 p.m. showing? Remember, I vented about this during Deadpool when I sat next to a 6-year-old at a rated R movie for an 8 p.m. showing. Anyway, I digress. So, but should you go see this? As a comic book fan, you have the duty to go see this movie. As a moviegoer, if you like the last two X-Men movie, go ahead and go see this. If you're not a comic book fan, don't see this. If you're into sci-fi, go see it. If you're into a good story, don't go see it. So I'm really torn on this because as a comic book fan, I had a duty to go see this. And maybe didn't have a duty, but it was on my, here Marvel, here Fox, here DC, take my money for the next 19 movies over the next 5 years. So with that, I think that you should go see this movie. I think you should go and get lost in this movie. I think it was a pretty good movie. So go out while it's at the theater and watch this movie. It was pretty good. If you don't, wait for it to come out on your favorite movie device, be it Blu-ray or your favorite digital service. Mine is Google Play. And enjoy it that way. But I thought this was a good movie and one that I think that you should go and watch. So with that, Brian Miller, Small Town Movie Watcher, and I just got done watching X-Men Apocalypse with Wolverine's 4th origin story, Cyclops' 2nd origin story. I think that's it. So with that, thanks a lot, guys. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye.